Hello and welcome to the We Should Move Here Travels podcast. My name is Brittany
I'm Josh.
and we are your hosts. Today we are wrapping up our Ireland trip and doing a bit of a recap for you.
Really loved this trip. It was, I think, just about everything that I hoped for in a trip to Ireland.
It really was. It was so beautiful. I mean, I don't know that I knew what to expect. I don't know that I ever really do going somewhere new, but I didn't expect it to be as beautiful as it was.
I think that's such a common thing when you're looking at pictures of a place and
Mhm.
you're going to be like, oh, that's stunning, but it never does it justice.
Yeah.
So even our photos and videos from our previous episodes describing each county and city we went to, none of them are going to do justice the beauty of Ireland unless you go there yourself and see it.
Yeah, I agree. So just to recap a little bit, we started in Laragh in the Wicklow Mountains and we did a hike there that was absolutely beautiful. Then we went to Teelin in County Donegal and we saw the tallest cliffs in Europe. Then we stayed one night at the Lough Rynn Castle, had an amazing dinner there. And then we went to Clifden and did an insanely beautiful and pretty difficult, and I would also say dangerous hike. And then we went to Dingle, where we did get to tour Dingle Distillery, which was amazing. Definitely recommend. Then we ended our trip in Dublin, where it was a true foodie hotspot for us. We ate so much food there those last 2 days.
We sure did. I think that was a really good recap. Pretty much sums up most of the trip.
Yeah. So, what did you like about the trip?
Oh my, there's so much I loved about the trip. Just the expansive beauty of Ireland. Every single place we went, I think with the exception of Dublin, which is beautiful in its own way,
Yeah.
but all the other places, Laragh, Teelin, Mohill, where Lough Rynn Castle was, Clifden and Dingle, all really dramatically beautiful.
Yeah.
It was just stunning and a joy to walk around, hike, drive around. Beautiful. What about you? What did you like about the trip?
I really loved the new adventures
Mm,
that we added to this trip. So, hiking and seeing the beauty of Ireland from those hikes. We've never really done that before. It was a new addition. I just think it was so beautiful to see Ireland in that way. I had talked about how some of these hikes were life changing, and they really were life changing experiences because of how beautiful and challenging and difficult they were, but also how proud they made me feel. I almost feel like this trip of Ireland solidified my number one spot of Portree, Scotland,
mm.
mainly because I think that there were parts of this trip where it was very similar to Portree, Scotland in a lot of ways. The small town, the beauty everywhere, the cliffs, the hikes, all of that. I think the only difference is I got the feeling so much stronger in Portree than I did all throughout Ireland.
Okay.
I think I'm really grateful to have done this trip and have that kind of solidify my number one spot as of right now. That could certainly change in the future, and it might. I just think it's a really hard one to beat.
Yeah.
I do.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm grateful that we went to similar places because it did make me recognize like my feelings of wanting to be in a place that I'm so drawn to, like I am Portree.
That makes a lot of sense because there was, for me as well, more of a emotional connection to Scotland while we were there.
Hmm.
I constantly felt emotionally connected. And even though Ireland was, as we both said, beautiful and stunning, it just didn't have that emotional connection that Scotland provided.
I think there were parts of Ireland where I was very drawn to it, like Dingle.
Hmm.
I loved Dingle. I think everybody loves Dingle. Honestly, like, it's such a beautiful town, and it has a lot to do, and you drive 10 minutes out of the city, and you're, like, in the middle of the frickin', like, Irish cliffs and on the peninsula, and it's just so beautiful. I think Dingle, if any town would have done it for me, it would be Dingle.
Dingle would have solidified it if it would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you wish we would have done different or was different about the trip?
I really loved the way we did the trip.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we hit a lot of the spots that I had envisioned us hitting. I had always envisioned what Ireland would look like, and we went to the spots where that's what Ireland looked like and more. So it really brought my imagination to life. I love it when a place does that because it's always better. It is always better than you can envision it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. However, I do think that going to Northern Ireland would have been fun. Like going to Belfast, going to the Titanic Museum, doing some of that stuff, I think would have been really fun. If I had to pick something, it would be that. But I really think that our 2-week itinerary was perfect. I I don't think I would change the 2-week itinerary, but if we had 3 weeks, I would have wanted to go to Northern Ireland. What about you? What do you wish it was different?
Not a lot, to be honest. I felt pretty great about the trip. Maybe something similar along the lines of going into Northern Ireland. If
Mhm.
we had more time, I would add that to it, as well as more Southern Ireland,
Yeah.
as well as along the East Coast. I don't think I would actually change where we went at all. I think we picked really great places to go. Just wanting to go more places in Ireland would be something that I would change or add to if I could. And I just mentioned all that and nothing about the middle. There's the whole center of Ireland that we didn't get to spend much time in, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I think we both wouldn't change anything, but if we had to choose something, we would make it longer.
Mhm.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I think every traveler can relate to that.
Yeah, for sure. Always want a longer trip or just to see more.
What do you feel like you learned on this trip? I feel like we always learn something different on each trip. What do you think you learned here?
Couple things. One that really comes to my head is I do appreciate public transportation in a country.
Mm,
I love driving. I think it's a great way to explore, especially a country like Ireland. You get much more out of the country, I think, when you have the ability to go off and do things
yeah.
at random and on your own. I can understand people who go on bus tours or jump from city to city, but I think a car is great for Ireland. That
Mhm.
being said, driving for 2 weeks straight in Ireland, it would have been great to have a little bit more, maybe a train station, go to a few different places at times instead of having to drive there.
Yeah, I think there are buses that you can do,
Mhm.
but we didn't look too far into that just because you get a bus and then you're kind of stuck at the accommodation that you choose.
Mhm.
And we were like, yeah, we want to go out and do things, and we would have never gotten the chance to do half of what we did if we did it that way. So,
Yeah. I think I also just meant in general as, like, our podcast of looking for a future place to live. I think I can see that in places as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I do like going on hikes with you. I thought that was really fun. I thought it was a great challenge for us. I thought we connected really well on hikes and
Yeah.
kept on learning more about each other. So I think that was a great learning moment. That's something that you and me share.
Yeah. We know each other really well,
Mhm.
and I think there's always something more that you can learn about your person.
Mhm.
And I think that's so true. Like when you do new things like hiking, all you're doing is talking and walking.
Right.
So,
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say when you experience something new, have a new experience. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
What about you? What did you learn on the trip?
Um, I learned that you and I can do hard things.
Mm.
And there were parts of some of these hikes where I could have fallen to my death and where we walk above the clouds, where we hike to above the clouds. And I just think that these moments, they come back to me and I remember them and I'm like, wow, I can't believe we did that. One, two, like how beautiful it was. And also, I'm just so proud of us for doing that. So, I mean, I learned that we really can do hard things. Those were really hard hikes, some of them.
Hmm.
Would I do them again? Not all of them. But but I do think like doing them once was enough for me and it was enough to prove to not just like other people but to myself that I can do hard things.
Yeah.
So they say it all the time in yoga when we're like holding a minute long plank. The yoga instructor is always like, you can do hard things. I'm always thinking to myself, ugh. Yeah, right. I get that. But I can.
You can. It's
And
so
so can
true,
you.
though. Yeah, absolutely.
So when we went to New Zealand, we started doing this thing where we would rank in different categories each town. We didn't do that for each town or city here. We are going to do that as Ireland as a whole.
Hmm.
So, as far as food, what would you rank Ireland's food scene out of 10?
It does make it more difficult not being city by city. Now
I
I gotta think
know.
as a whole.
It does.
We had a lot of great food. I'd probably give it a 6.9 out of 10.
Oh.
Hmm.
I was very close. I was going to say a 7.
7.
7.5.
Are we gonna include alcohol in our food?
I mean, we could include a whole alcohol category because that would be a 10.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, the Guinness is insane.
I think on the spot here we're gonna make up another category called alcohol. I think we're gonna throw it in there. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 6.9 for food out of 10.
Okay.
And you're gonna do 7, you said?
Yeah, 7.5.
Okay. If we look back, if you had to pick one thing we had there for food, what would you say or suggest?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I think the first thing that pops into my head is the Guinness beef stew
Hmm.
at the Rusty Mackerel.
Yeah.
That was so delicious. Another dinner that pops into my head is the Lough Rynn Castle.
Yep.
They had amazing food and it was just an incredible experience to be there. And then I also think about like the foodie hotspots and the food tour in Dublin.
For sure.
So, I mean, Dublin's food scene is so good.
It is.
It is so good. If you are a foodie and you're in Dublin, you got to check out some of these places because it's really good. I think that my top spot, yeah, I think I would have to give it to Lough Rynn Castle.
Okay.
What about you?
The Harbor Restaurant and Bar. We had great pasta there, great salmon, really nice dessert. I think that one sticks out to me a lot when I think back.
Yeah, that was really good. That was County Donegal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Minus any Guinness stew, any of the stews, because those are locked in. But otherwise, the Harbor Restaurant in County Donegal was great.
Yeah, that was really great. Wow, we had some really amazing food here.
I guess if we're gonna add alcohol as a category, what would you rate alcohol out of 10?
10.
10.
The Guinness just made every day feel so comfortable. I mean, I didn't drink every day, but most days we did. And we would always have a Guinness.
Hmm.
And the Guinness is just so delicious. It's different there. It really is. I mean, we have to try one of the the cans where they have the little ball that drops in.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Um, we have to try one of those, but I don't think that it's going to be as good as a Guinness in Ireland.
Nah, can't
We'll
be.
see.
Yeah.
But God, I'm craving one now. What would you rank the alcohol scene?
Probably a 10 as well. I think also for the whiskey,
Oh, yeah,
because we are coming to a whiskey era, I think.
we
You
are.
we have been getting into whiskey a little more, and both Crawley and Dingle Distillery were fantastic, and there's so much more great Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Pairing that with the fantastic beer, not only Guinness, which was obviously great, but we had a few other small brewery
Mhm.
beers there that were really great. So I think it's a 10.
Yeah.
Even if it was just based off of Guinness, it'd be probably a
Yeah.
10.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What about the coffee and social scene?
I thought it was good. I'm not as hard or tough on coffee as you are, so you'll probably have a different take. I love the social aspect of them. They were, for the most part, all kind of sit down and like
Hmm.
meet friends there sort of place. There was one early on that was a window on the street. I
Yeah.
forget the name of it, but that was cool.
And they had seating outside too.
Yeah, and they had seating outside. If Italy's a 10,
Yeah.
this is I'm gonna go 7.2.
I'll go 7.5 again. I think it was pretty good. Definitely not Italy, where you sit down and every single cup is like the best coffee you've ever had.
Mhm.
But I think that Ireland really surprised me with their
Mhm.
coffee, actually. I didn't really expect there to be a good coffee scene because I keep comparing Ireland and Scotland, and I shouldn't do that. But they are so close together and they have a lot of similarities. I kind of expected Ireland's coffee scene to be kind of like Scotland's, which wasn't good, but it wasn't. It was a
Mhm.
good coffee scene. I really appreciated their coffee. So, 7.5.
Nice.
Not every cup was the best I've had, but there were a lot of great cups of coffee.
Lot of great cups of coffee. If you had to
Yeah.
pick one, what was your favorite one?
I think for the social aspect, it would be My Boy Blue, where we had the raspberry white chocolate muffin. I can't stop thinking about it. They had pretty good coffee too, but then Bean and Dingle, both of these are in Dingle, but then Bean and Dingle was really great coffee. So that was probably my favorite cup, but both of them are in Dingle and that was my favorite place in Ireland. So I don't know if that contributed to
It's a whole vibe thing. It all counts. Yeah.
yeah. Walkability and transit.
I think driving is its own experience in Ireland. We didn't really get into the public transit too much, so can't base it off that. There is some in Dublin, there is some out there, but we can't really grade it on that too much.
Mhm.
Walkability, the towns when you're in them, like Dingle and Clifden, very walkable.
Very.
I think we gotta give it the benefit of the doubt a little bit. Probably keep it right around like a 6.8, 6.8.
Yeah, I was going to say around a 5 or 6.
Mhm.
Just because the public transportation, I think, would have been solely buses,
Mhm.
and then you wouldn't be able to get outside of the cities. But the cities themselves are very walkable.
Mhm.
So I think half of it got a really good score, and
Yeah.
then half of it got a really bad score for me. So I would say like a 5 or 6.
Okay. Yeah. I think the fact that the cities that we stayed in, Clifton and Dingle, and then some of the other cities we drove through, if you lived there, you could probably do without a car if you were just looking to stay in your city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cities themselves are so incredibly walkable.
Very community minded because you can, from your house, walk to the grocery store, walk
Hmm.
to school, get around very easily. Like where we live, it's much more difficult. We're walking a mile at least to a grocery store.
Yeah. So, what about affordability?
I think the way the euro is right now with the United States dollar, it was pretty much dollar for euro. It was pretty close. Didn't see much of a difference across anything, really.
Yeah, because we went outside of tourist season,
Mhm.
we didn't spend as much as things would have been during tourist season.
Yeah.
That's just something to keep in mind.
Mhm.
But what would you rate it?
I mean, not better, like we were getting more bang for our buck, but not worse off where we were losing, money. It was bad conversion rate. So I'd probably have to give it like a 6.
I would say like a 5 because of that, like right in the middle.
Yeah. Maybe gas. I think gas or petrol was a little more expensive, if I
Mm.
remember correctly. We were fortunate enough to have a smaller or like mid-sized car that was good on gas. So we actually didn't have to fill up that much.
Yeah.
But I think that was a little more expensive. So yeah, I think 5's good. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about relocation? How easy it might be?
That's difficult because we met up with Amy, who had a very easy time relocating from the US to Ireland. And that's because she had family ties that came back to Ireland, and it was close enough to where she could easily get dual citizenship. For us, though, we don't have that. So I think what would need to happen is either I would have to get a specialized work visa or one of us would go back to school.
Yeah.
And there are pathways that way,
Mhm.
but I think they're more challenging than some other countries.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on what our situation would be at the time of relocation. It definitely is possible. I don't know that is something that we're looking at right now. There are options, but they're a little more difficult for us. I think I'd give it like a 5. What do
Yeah.
you think?
I was gonna say very similar things that you would have to get a specialized like job visa, or one of us have to go back to school and then be a spousal exemption for that. The only problem would be is from what we've heard from people on our social medias and comments that finding a job is difficult and finding housing is difficult, like
Mm,
a lot of places in the world. With that in mind and not having that direct ancestry tie to get us like a dual citizenship, I think it's a 4 at this point, as far as the knowledge that
yeah.
we have. Of course, if we had that direct ancestry tie, like Amy or several other people in Wisconsin and around the world, then it seems pretty doable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seems easier that way. As far as pace and wellness, what would you rate Ireland?
Again, we talked to a few people on our social media and then talked with Amy. They said that the change from the United States to Ireland was a big difference from them. They
Yeah.
said that life really slowed down in a positive way. And it seemed like that while we were there. And it seemed like people with all different kinds of jobs were able to take a breath, take it easy, and maybe not have 3, 4, 5 jobs like is often common in the United States.
Yeah.
I think that along with the fact that I think a lot of the communities are really close knit and you become close with your community members. From what we know, I'd probably give it an 8.
I agree. I think that the pace and wellness culture here was pretty apparently different than the US. And I think for that reason, I did think about life there and
Yeah.
what it could look like
Mhm.
because it was so slow. People weren't like in a rush. Obviously, in Dublin, it was a little bit different because it's a big city. There's always going to be that time crunch it feels like in a big city.
Right.
But outside of the big city, it really felt slow. Felt like people walked a lot of places. There was a lot of like social things that I saw happening and groups and stuff like that. So I think that we could see ourselves in that kind of pace
Yeah.
and that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like a 8.5.
Mhm. What about access to nature and beauty?
Oh, that's a 10. That's a 10. Yeah, I mean, I It left me speechless. It was so beautiful. One of the most beautiful countries I think we've been to.
If you had to pick one point in Ireland, you're like, "Oh, I could go back and I could stand there and see that again, or I could sit there, or we could drive past it."
I'll pick my top 3.
Okay.
The Wicklow Mountains,
Classic. Nice.
the Slieve League, and the Upper and Lower Diamond Loop. I think those are my top 3 most beautiful places that we went in Ireland.
Yeah.
What about you? If you had to pick just one.
It would be all of Donegal.
All of Donegal.
All of Donegal. Really beautiful. So that includes the Slieve League. A beautiful place.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went had beauty to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely ranking out of 10, just like you. Easy. We like picking beautiful places to go.
We do. I mean, what can we say? We like the beauty.
We like the beauty.
Is there anything else you want to say about Ireland that we haven't talked about?
I think it's important for people who are looking at taking a trip to Ireland to choose places and choose activities because they want to do them. I think there's a lot of places to go, things to see in Ireland, and lots of people have been there and want to tell you, like, this is the place to go. This is the place to see. It's a big country. You could spend every day for 100 days seeing something different. I think you just got to pick out what you want to see and what you want to do and just go with your gut. I think we did that on this trip.
Yeah.
And it really paid off. Sometimes we get stuck in like, oh, everyone says we got to go see this. And we did a few of those things and it was absolutely worth it. But then we skipped some others and I really feel like we didn't miss out.
Yeah. I don't feel like we missed out at all. I think that I've learned a lot through traveling, and that in my early 20s, I definitely suffered from some FOMO, which, if you don't know what that means, it's fear of missing out.
Yeah.
As I got older and as I traveled more, I started to recognize that there were things that we did that some people will never do, that I'm so glad we did them, like some of these hikes. And you never really know unless you do the things that you want to do and kind of tune out the outside voices. Like, of course, there's some things that we did that were really famous and popular, and I'm glad that we did those. If you compare, for instance, the Cliffs of Moher and the Slieve League, the Slieve League is absolutely incredible. It is so underrated. They're the tallest cliffs in all of Europe, and yet the Cliffs of Moher are so much more popular. I think because they're more towards like the tourist towns.
And just easier to access.
Yeah.
So as far as this podcast, We Should Move Here travels, would you move here?
I think if I were to move anywhere in Ireland, it would be Dingle. I don't think it's going in my top 3, only because my top 3 is very hard to beat for me. So I have Scotland, Belgium, and Sweden. I just don't think that Dingle outshined any of those places for me.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I want to go back. I do think we should go back at some point, but it didn't give me more of the feeling than the other places. So,
yeah.
What do you think?
I totally agree. I had such an amazing experience going with you and being with you on this trip. And like we said, we learned so much more about ourselves and it gave us that emotional connection. But as far as an emotional connection to live there, I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also definitely go back, definitely go to County Donegal, County Galway, go to Dingle, go back to Dublin. I'd go back to all those places.
I would too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it was a very beautiful trip. We crafted it really nicely. Yeah, I just don't know if it's a place that I would choose to live in right now.
Yeah.
That might change in the future. Who knows?
That could. We change every day.
We do. So next episode, we'll do a brief check-in about the pod, how we think it's going, and if we want to make any changes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. at WSMH Travels.
You can listen to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. YouTube is where we have our video record version, including pictures and videos. Also, please continue to leave your comments and send us messages on what you liked from our trips and suggestions for future trips. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.